This is the Efficiency and Organization YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about specific ways in which you can multitask and to do it effectively. Okay, so multitasking. A lot of people frown upon the concept of multitasking for a very good reason. What ends up happening with a lot of creative people who are just brilliant and can come up with a lot of ideas, they are multi-passionate. What ends up happening is they're working on something, right? And then they stop working on that because they're excited and jazzed about another project. Then they stop working on that because now they have another project. Next thing you know, they have like 20, 25 different things that they're trying to work on at the same time, but nothing is materializing. And then they develop this reputation for being a person who starts things but doesn't finish them. And so in order to combat that, we say don't do that. Multitasking does not work. You want to just basically work on one or two things at the same time, so that way you're not like stretching yourself too thin. For multi-passionate and creative people, what I suggest doing is making folders, like writing the ideas down, writing the projects down, but holding on to them. Like what I do a lot of times is I put my stuff right there. That way it's there, it's not forgotten, it's on paper, it's in physical form, but I'm not working on them yet. That's why like 6 months from now, 1 year from now kind of a thing, you know? Now, as far as daily multitasking, how can you do it effectively? I'm going to give you some very exact strategies. Number one, if you are doing mundane things, for example, stapling papers, sorting papers, stamping papers, right? Doing things like that, tasks that you're just using your hands, but it doesn't really require much thinking, then what you can do is multitask. At the same time, you can watch an educational video. At the same time, you can listen to your voicemails. You can even listen to an ebook, right? Like a book where you're like kind of like Kindle, where it's like a book and you're hearing the audiobooks. So there are ways that you can combine tasks. You don't have to do each one specifically. It is possible to combine and multitask that way. Another way is if you're commuting or when you're driving. Why don't you get in touch with people either via email using your phone or texting or calling? That way you're still reaching out to your network. You are still networking and connecting while you are at the same time doing something else like driving or commuting. Remember that your time is valuable. Again, your time is valuable. So as much as you could squeeze out of every minute is important. Next, when you're folding laundry, just like I was telling you with the mundane things that don't require too much thinking, when you're folding laundry or when you're putting clothes in the laundry, at the same time, what can you do that's also important to you? Do you have some reading goals? Can you listen to your audiobooks at that time? Can you be on hold with the customer service agent? Are you needing to call to dispute something regarding your phone bill? Or do you have questions about your insurance bill, right? Those things you could combine, those tasks. That way you're knocking like 2-3 stones at the same time. You could still even contact people and do your networking at that time. Another thing is I take just very full advantage of being in line and waiting. A lot of times this happens in doctors' offices or anywhere else really that you're just waiting for like 10-15 minutes and you have nowhere to go. You're just there in line. Use that time effectively. When I was a student, I always had flashcards with me and I would study my flashcards. Now what I do is I look at my emails at that time. I have my phone there and I'm reading and I'm unsubscribing if I need to, or I'm responding to emails. But using that wait time effectively is key. I know you might laugh at me, but I carry my books with me because one of my goals this year is to read 12 books, so like a book a month. And so I carry my small books with me in my purse so that way I can whip them out when I'm not doing anything. I'm just kind of standing in line and being productive. So instead of playing games on the phone, I read. And that's something you can do. Or again, you can reach back out to people if they're waiting for you to respond to them and such. Another thing you could do is while your food is on the stove cooking and you're just kind of waiting for it to finish cooking, waiting for it to do its thing, you can pay bills at the same time. Check in with your kids on what help they need. You can review your emails, your personal emails at that time. You can do even another chore at that time. So think of things you could do while the food is getting warmed up, getting ready. Can you clean while the food is cooking? Can you go and clean at the same time? That way when it's ready, you have less to clean and wash at the end. And by the way, if you could share some of your ideas, because on this YouTube channel, we have well over 2,000 subscribers, right? It'll be helpful for everyone to know what people are doing, what other suggestions you have for multitasking, so we can all learn from each other. So it's not just ideas that I have, it could be ideas that we all have. But again, doing like mundane things with things that may require a little bit of thinking is really what we can do in terms of multitasking. Another idea, if you have kids, nieces, nephews that you have to take to practices and you're just there sitting, waiting for them, softball game, baseball game, whatever, swim practice, whatever it may be, you can use that time wisely. I have seen parents bring their laptops and get work done at that time. I mean, if you're a super busy person, you could do that. And it's okay if you're being judged. It is what it is. You have to do what you have to do to make ends meet. I do that all the time. You could take work, you could take things you have to sign. As long as your paperwork, your documents are organized, so that way you don't lose them, it's okay to do that. When I would take my daughter to tennis, it was at the park, so I would do my miles. I have like my daily mile goal that I try to reach, power walking. I would go walking and I would meet, basically I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm seeing where she is, right? Like I'm making my round, coming, watching she's okay, making my round, she's okay, and at the same time walking. If you have a dog to take for a walk, even better. You're killing three birds. You're doing your walking, you're doing the dog's walking, and you're bringing your kid to practice. I have one more suggestion for you. While you are cleaning, it's best to start making your shopping list. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're cleaning and you go, oh shoot, I need to buy bleach. Well, then you could put that on your phone in the reminders app, so that way when you go shopping, you can remember to buy bleach. Another thing you can do is what my sister does. She uses Target and she just puts stuff on the cart, then she orders, and then she goes to those drive-in things that they have, and then they bring her her order. She doesn't even have to waste time going to Target. It's like they bring it to her while she's waiting in the car. And this is a concept that came about, a lot of it was from after COVID, but that's so helpful, right? You can do something like that. So you either put things in your cart and order online, or you can make your shopping list. It's all about proper time management for very busy people with a lot going on. That is all I have for this video. Please be sure to subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.